A girl with a bow and arrow, meh. But a boy with a bow and arrow. That changes things. What's up, book nerds? I'm Lucky's Universe, and today I'm here to talk to you about A.K.A. So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Camera. Pronunciation unsure, let me know in the comments. I originally wasn't that excited to read this book because I heard that it was a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I have been mentally, emotionally scarred by Beauty and the Beast retellings. I would have thorns and roses. Sorry, what? But I was pleasantly surprised, and so I'm here today to talk to you about it. I have tea, I have my notes down here, and we're just gonna get started. A.K.A. So Dark and Lonely. Our narrative begins with our main character, Harper, who is just chillin', being a normal girl in Washington, D.C. She sees another girl who she thinks is being kidnapped by this random creepy guy, and because laws of girl code, she tries to help him out, but ends up getting kidnapped herself and taken to this mystical kind of fairy tale-like world called Emberfall. Once Harper arrives in Emberfall, we are introduced to our main love interest, whose name is Ren. He's a prince, and he's been cursed by a sorceress named Lilith to turn into a beast at the end of every season. I don't think it's really specified, or maybe I missed it. It's not really specified how long each season goes for. Time's a little bit winky wonky. But at the end of every season, if Ren can't get a girl to fall in love with him, he turns into a beast, and this curse has been going on for a really long time. Gray, who is the guy who kidnapped Harper, is able to pass from Emberfall to the real world at the end of every season to get a new girl to try and convince her to fall in love with Ren. That's what he was doing when Harper came across him, and because Harper interfered, he took her instead, and now both Ren and Gray are like, we fucked up, this isn't gonna work. Because Harper isn't like other girls. Harper actually has something called cerebral palsy. It's a type of condition that can affect muscle development, and because of this and because of surgeries that she had when she was younger, she has a very defined limp on her left leg. She's also not described as being like incredibly beautiful, and it seems that Gray has been only kidnapping like incredibly beautiful women for whatever reason. And it's also revealed to Ren by the evil sorceress Lilith that this is his last season. So if he can't get Harper to fall in love with him, he's gonna turn into a beast once and for all, forever, and he's gonna like destroy all of his people. Because of the curse, Ren actually killed his entire family very early on. He ended up sending everyone away from the castle. Whatever soldiers he had, he sent to go defend the border. His little palace, which is called Iron Rose, has kind of been in this little cursed bubble, and the world outside of Iron Rose has sort of been falling into ruins because no one's there to lead them. But Ren still wants to protect his people, but he's pretty much given up hope at this point because he's seen Harper. She's like super suspicious of him, as she should be, and he's like, this girl's never gonna trust me, this is never gonna work, we're doomed. But after a while, after being wary of Gray and Ren, Harper starts to trust them and like befriend them and bond with them. And then they hear that there is this other kingdom that is planning to invade Emberfall. Because Ren has been letting his kingdom kind of fall into ruins, he doesn't have any way to defend Emberfall, and so Harper agrees to masquerade as a princess from another fantasy kingdom to try and trick the queen that's trying to invade into thinking that, hey, they have like a lot of forces or a lot of troops that are coming to sort of like delay the invasion. And slowly Harper kind of convinces Ren to start opening himself back up to his people and to win their support and to try and bring Emberfall back to life again. And while all this is happening, although Harper swore that she wasn't going to fall in love with Ren, she starts to develop feelings for him. And I can kind of see why, because, you know, Crown Prince, very handsome, he has a bow and arrow, which I highly appreciate, because a girl with a bow and arrow, meh. But a boy with a bow and arrow, that changes things. But despite Harper and Ren's developing feelings, Harper can't really bring herself to trust Ren because she doesn't know how much of their relationship is real and how much he's putting on because he's just trying to get her to fall in love with him and break the curse. Also, Harper is trying to figure out a way to get herself back home because she has a family and they're in trouble. And then the evil sorceress Lilith shows up and grants Gray the power to send Harper back to her world. Originally, he was only granted the power at the end of each season to go and get a girl, but she decides to stir the pot and grant him the power now. Gray originally refuses to take Harper back because he's loyal to Ren and wants to keep her here so she can try and break the curse, but then Ren, being a sweetheart that he is, orders Gray to send Harper back, and Gray is obligated to do so. Harper leaves, so the curse isn't broken. Ren turns into a beast once and for all and starts to terrorize his people. Also, the other evil army, like the invading kingdom, it invades. Harper, back in the real world, saves her family, and then they get into danger again, and so Gray appears and they come back to Emberfall with her family. Everything's gone to shit. Ren is some sort of dragon beast, which I can totally get behind. Dragons are awesome. Harper kind of tames Ren, and then together they just destroy the invading army, which is pretty sick. Everything seems to be settling down. They've pushed out the invading army. Everyone's kind of chilling for a bit, but then Lilith shows up and wants to take Ren, who's still in beast form. Harper still doesn't know if she's in love with Ren, but she says she loves him to try and get Lilith to not take him. Lilith says that love is like more than just saying it. It's about sacrificing your entire being for someone else. And who should show up but Gray, who says, hey, take me, I'll be loyal to you if you don't take my buddy and that girl over there. Lilith says, sure. Harper's like, please don't. And then Gray does this superhero trick. He grabs Lilith, transports her to the real world where he is hoping that he can kill her. Cut back to Harper and Ren. The curse is broken. Ren turns back into a human. Gray doesn't return from the real world. They have no way of going there. They don't know if Lilith is dead. They don't know if Gray is dead. Ren also doesn't know if the curse was broken because Harper loves him or because Gray sacrificed himself for him. And that's kind of where the first book ends. So let's talk about the characters. Overall, I really liked Harper. I thought she was strong and stubborn without arrogance or any false arrogance that a lot of like strong, independent female characters tend to have. She was altruistic without being annoying. I liked that she didn't let her disability stop her from doing anything. In her first night in the castle, when she still doesn't trust Ren and Gray, she tries to escape, and the only way is by like jumping out of a window, and she's like, my leg is busted, but you know what? We're just gonna go for it. Let's jump out the window, let's go. Another attribute to her character is that she just doesn't take crap from anyone. She doesn't let Gray and Ren boss her around, but is also willing to learn from them when she's in a situation that she doesn't know much about. Which is more than can be said for like any YA protagonist. One downside to her character was that I felt like there was maybe a tiny hint of insta-love going on. I felt that she grew to trust and bond with Gray and Ren very quickly. Like on the second day of meeting them, she seemed to be ready to like lay down her life for them and just like trust them. And I was like, you still don't really know these guys? Like, I don't know. I didn't know if it was consistent with her character, but because of all her other qualities, I was willing to overlook all that. Then we have Ren. Not gonna lie, I got huge Tamlin vibes from Ren at the beginning, and by Tamlin vibes I mean whiny little vanilla bitch vibes. But I'm glad to see that he was able to learn from his mistakes and develop his character to be less of a whiny bitch. Kind of started off the story the same way Tamlin started off his story in A Court of Thorns and Roses, just like this guy who's under a curse and he's kind of just moping around his castle feeling sorry for himself. The difference between Tamlin and Ren is that when Harper is like, hey, you're being annoying and you have all of these like resources and you're not doing anything with them, what's the deal? He's like, I am being kind of a lazy little bitch. Maybe I should change something, and I appreciated that. He's very respectful. I liked that about the romance in this story, is that there was no sort of abusive behavior being passed off as sexy in this novel. Aside from the whole kidnapping and locking her in a room, like if you can bypass that, then the majority of it was very, you know, calm, respectful, cute and romantic. 10 out of 10. Another difference between Tamlin and Ren is that Ren actually has a role in the story other than being the love interest. Then we have Grey, who is Ren's friend slash commander. Just like I got Tamlin vibes from Ren, I got very strong Lucian vibes from Grey, and I really thought that this was about to be just Tamlin Lucian 2.0. Just think about it, you've got a prince who's cursed, just chilling, moping about in his castle with his best friend who's like his personal bitch. And I was pleased to find out that Grey was well developed enough that he wasn't just Ren's bitch. Like, he had his own personality and his own job in the story, and I thought that was really well done. The thing that gets me is there's a bit of an alluded love triangle between Ren and Harper and Grey that I didn't like. I am not really a fan of love triangles. They're always in YA novels and it's a bit annoying. Plus, I'm a fan of Harper and Ren, so I wanted them to be together. And so if Harper ends up with Grey, I'm gonna be really mad. So with my general thoughts on the book, I thought it was really well done. I thought the writing was good. For a YA novel, it was good. There was a little bit of repetitiveness. Harper kept repeating like, I am so confused. There was a lot of like, I couldn't remember any releasing a breath I didn't know I was holding, which was good. I kind of feel like this book had a lot of missed opportunities. When you're doing fairy tale retellings, there's so much opportunity to subvert the fairy tale. This book just didn't do that, other than by not making the beauty a stereotypical beauty. I don't know about you, but I was totally picking up on some sexual tension between Grey and Ren, and I thought this story would be way more interesting if they were the love story and not Harper and Ren. Because Grey would literally do anything for Ren. They would make such a cute couple. Oh, one thing I forgot about Grey was at the beginning when he's kidnapping Harper, when she approaches him, she says like she notices that he has an accent that she can't quite place. And if I had $1 for every time a character had an accent that I couldn't quite place or I couldn't put my finger on, I would be rich. Another question I had about the series was I was wondering whether the Beauty and the Beast tale, like the Disney tale, existed in Harper's world. Because I feel like if she was aware of the Beauty and the Beast tale, she would have figured out that Ren was the Beast really early on. So like, does it exist in the real world? Does it not? Does she know what Beauty and the Beast is? Because yeah, I feel like she would have figured out everything a whole lot quicker if she had known about the original fairy tale. So I'm guessing it doesn't exist. The romance was slow burn, and in my opinion with romance, less is more. So I liked that about the book. I didn't really get that attached to Lilith. Like, she was evil, but she felt a bit underdeveloped. I think she could have had a bigger role in the story other than just like, I'm evil because you broke my heart and I'm just gonna torture everyone. It seemed kind of just one-sided. The plot twist at the end was semi-predictable, but still good. And all in all, just an enjoyable read. So in conclusion, I really liked A Curse So Dark and Lonely. Pushing aside the fact that the Beauty and the Beast retellings are kind of overdone at this point, I feel like every time there's a fairy tale retelling, it's either Beauty and the Beast, Sleeping Beauty, or Cinderella. There are way more fairy tales. Utilize them. The writing was good, the characters were good, the dialogue was really funny. I enjoyed the romance, and I'm looking forward to reading the next book. But I swear, if there's a love triangle between Harper and Grey and Ren, then I'm gonna die. And hopefully by the end of this series, Ren will just realize that Grey has been the guy for him all along and they'll just get it on. So that is it for my review of A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Camera. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. If you haven't already followed me on TikTok, go check it out. I post some pretty cool stuff on there. I will also leave a link below to my Twitter and my Goodreads and my Patreon if you want to check that out. Also, my brother has a Twitch account that I'm putting down below because I'm the world's best sister. Let me know what you thought about this book. Also, let me know what your favorite tea is because I'm looking for some recommendations. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you later.